Hi everyone, I'm Alexis. Welcome to my revamped YouTube channel um, and my first video. I figure that I am going to start off this video with a high-level background and story of why I'm here making this video in particular. And I think for those who don't know me super well, um, it'll give you a chance to get to know a little bit about me, and for those who do know me, you might get some insights into my story that may have missed. So, I grew up on Long Island in Oceanside, New York, and my freshman year of high school, I joined my school's debate club with a friend, and it's really cool because we had weekly meetings within our school, but also there were monthly Congress weekends, and that entailed of about 8 schools in the general Long Island area getting together for 2 full days of debate and socializing. So it was a really great way to meet new people outside of my school, and on top of all the other benefits that come with a debate club and all that. So my first Congress weekend ever was in December of '09 during my freshman year. And that weekend I met a boy at that time who was a year older than me. His name is Cory Newton Montelus, and he went to a different school than me, but since he was older than me, he already had friends who went to my school since he had been in the club, and I was introduced to him through someone from my own school. And from that day on, we were friends. We hung out in these Congress weekends, but we also hung out outside of that, got together mainly in groups, in a group of friends, and went to the movies or whatever, texted, all that good stuff. And then come my junior year of high school, I realized there was a period of time where I hadn't seen Cory for a while. He had broken his leg, and that kind of prevented him from coming to a couple of these Congress weekends. And I think both of us were just really busy in life and hadn't spoken to each other for a while. And at one of these Congress weekends, I really felt his absence and was missing him, and I texted him, kind of like realizing we hadn't spoken in a while. And so, we made plans to hang out, and he came to my house to pick me up because I couldn't drive, and I opened the door, and I see on his car, on his windshield, that there are 2 roses kind of taped over one another like that, and he wrote, with windshield markers, Alexis, I love you, will you go to prom with me? And that was the first time I ever saw our friendship in a different light. I know he asked me as a friend, and he made that perfectly clear, and he wasn't pressuring me into anything. But I was so surprised because we hadn't seen each other in a while, and it just got me personally thinking about the possibility of maybe something more between us. And really from there, the rest is history. That was on April 6th that he asked me to prom of 2012, and on May 26th, our relationship was official, and we had fallen in love, I think, very shortly after he asked me to prom. It was fast. He was easy to love. And shortly after that, he went away to school, but he went to school in Manhattan, so I got to see him about every other weekend. Him coming back on Long Island, occasionally me going to Manhattan as well. And then a year later, I went to school up in Ithaca, New York, at Cornell University, and that was a truly long distance relationship. So for those 4 years, we saw each other, at least for a couple of days every month, whether it be, me having a small break from school and coming home, or him visiting. and it was tough. Neither of us would have chosen to do long distance if we didn't have to. It's not easy, and I think also being so young and entering such a new phase of life, there's so much to learn, and I was so lucky that I got to learn with him. We got to learn together. We got to really grow up together. Um, I mean, by maybe 19, 20 years old, I knew that he was my forever. And, I wasn't in a rush for anything, but I just knew that it was, we had been through a lot, and I knew that I would love him for the rest of my life. And so come senior year of college, he was applying to law schools, and I was applying to jobs. And he wouldn't find out about law schools until March or April of that school year, and I got a job offer in November. And so I had to make a decision on where I was going to start my life without knowing anything about where he was going to be able to start his life. And I just kind of had to do what was best for me and hope for the best. And so I actually took a job in the Bay Area. And my best friend from college was moving out there, and it all kind of fell into place really nicely that we could go move out there together. And I was super excited about going out west, trying something new. I thought that it would be the right place for me, and it turned out to be so. But yeah, it was really nerve-wracking, like not knowing what was going to happen with him. And then all those months later, he got into USC in LA, and we both were able to move out to California together, which was such a relief because we had done long distance for a long time, but doing cross country is quite different. We had done very long distance for 4 months when I studied abroad in Denmark. That's a huge time difference, and we didn't get to see each other at all in person during that time, but I knew there was a definite end to that. And so knowing that we would be close to one another, we'd be able to still kind of continue that seeing each other about once a month type of thing, really worked out for us. So he moved to LA, I moved to San Francisco, and we did that for a year, and I was finally like, I am moving. I was at a point in my career where it was either promote within the company or look elsewhere if I didn't love what I was doing, which was the case. I wanted to pursue something a little bit different, and so it was just the perfect time to make that move all in one. And I said to myself, I'm only looking for jobs in LA, and we're going to finally be able to be together. And so I did. I got a job in Los Angeles area, and I moved down. I moved in with Cory at the end of August of 2018, and we lived together for almost a year, and it was the best year of my life. He's really scared of change, so he was scared of that. I was a little bit nervous, just, with the uncertainty of it all, and us living in a studio apartment. I know that was a big concern, but I still knew it would go well, and it exceeded my wildest dreams. I just never, it was almost perfect. It was as perfect as it could possibly be in real life, and I never could have even imagined up something that perfect. And that pretty much defines like our relationship in general, but especially that time. And we were both just so happy. And again, really the reason that I am making this video is because in the end of July and August, around in July of 2019, Cory was saying, oh, maybe I should visit family and friends in New York before I start my last year of law school. He doesn't get to go home across the country that often, and I was like, that's a great idea. So on August 5th, 2019, he left for New York, and he was supposed to come back a week later, extended his trip a couple of days. On August 15th, I woke up so giddy and excited because he was supposed to come home that day. And I woke up to some text messages from him when my alarm went off at 6 a.m. for work. That got to me around 2 a.m. my time. And one was a video of him telling me that he loved me, and it made my day, made me even more excited to see him. I was so happy. I couldn't have been happier. And then the second was instructions to finding his blog. And literally in a blinking moment, in a waking moment, my whole life changed. My mood absolutely flipped on its head, because what I found there was a suicide note. And I couldn't really process what I was seeing, but I knew something was wrong. And I unfortunately turned out to be right. So on August 15th of 2019, I lost my best friend that I've ever had. And I'll kind of get into more aspects of my story and our story, and my grieving process and journey and all of that in videos to come on this channel. But what this video is for me is really my tribute to the man who changed my whole life, who changed who I am as a person, who I've never loved more, Cory Newton Montelus. So yes, we had a long 7+ year relationship, and I am so grateful for him. I just feel like this is the right time and place for me now to say what's on my heart, whereas it never felt fully right before for a number of reasons. So what I'm going to focus now for the rest of this video on is why I love Cory. And so I guess I'll start by saying that, a lot of other people's speeches and memorials, I guess, about him have had a lot of talk about his accomplishments. And he accomplished a lot. He was 25 years old, and he was so successful in my book. And he was one of the smartest people I've ever met. He could recite to you anything about history pretty much, and politics as well. We had gone to Mexico in March of 2019 for his 25th birthday, and we went snorkeling on this little boat trip excursion, and did some drinking afterward, celebrated his birthday, and then we were meeting up with some family that happened to be there as well. And on the ferry on the way over, he's strikes up conversation with the man driving the boat about Mexican history. And this is what he did when he was drunk, that he struck up this conversation with this man about the country's history. That's just a funny anecdote that just goes to show how passionate he was and how knowledgeable he was in that area. And he was just so witty and just brilliant. But yes, he accomplished so much. He was at a wonderful law school, and he was so smart. I don't want to focus on that. I have to mention it, of course, but to me, that is not the best part of Cory. and the pressure to be even more than he was, I think, can be part of the problem um, in this day and age. And so I don't want to focus on that. That wasn't why I fell in love with him. I mean, it didn't hurt, but to me, when I think of Cory, I think of so many other things. And one of the things that I think about first is his humor. He was one of the funniest people I ever knew, and he had a very unique and special sense of humor. People have said, he's an acquired taste, and I think he can be one of those people that you might have to get to know in order to feel comfortable or understand. But I think if you're also the same kind of person, then you'll click with him immediately and totally understand why he's so lovable. He doesn't shy away. If you're a stranger, if he's just meeting you, he doesn't shy away from being him. He will crack jokes with you, and maybe some that are pushing the line a little bit, but that's just who he is. And for us and our relationship, we were always laughing. He was always making me laugh, was always smiling. I mean, I cannot tell you how happy I was, especially when we lived together. And truly, I was always laughing. And even just little things, we just had the best banter. I know my friends saw that he had the best banter with my family as well. He fit right in. And he, I would always say that he's my better half in socializing. I can be pretty awkward with people that I don't know. And funny because I'm in a pretty social line of work, and that's important to me. But he, he can talk to anyone, and they, have no problem with it. And to me, he lights up the room, and he's just so funny, so funny. So his sense of humor is one of the first things that I think of when I think of how amazing he is. But the biggest thing that I think of when I think of who he is, why I loved him, why everyone loved him, and why he's the best person that I've ever known, is his heart. I used to say that he was, this tough guy exterior, but a mush on the inside. But he also didn't hide the mush very well. Sometimes, but he didn't hide it very well a lot of the time. He was so affectionate toward me especially, and I cannot tell you how appreciated that was. He loved me so much and never let me forget it, and just showed me so much love in so many different ways. His heart was just tremendous, and I was lucky enough to have the type of relationship that we had that was so unique and special. But he also had so much love in his heart for all of the people in his life. I mean, I used to joke that why would all these girls especially be friends with him and, calling him up for advice or to vent or whatnot, because he's just a guy. Why would they call him? But I know why, because he is the type of person that would drop anything for a friend. He would do anything for you, and he'd prove that time and time again, whether it be, driving far distance to pick someone up if they, found themselves in a kind of sticky situation, or, just listening to anything that anyone was going through, supporting them, making people feel like they're perfect the way they are, that he loves them. He gave so much love. And that, was absolutely shown in how many people showed up to his services. I mean, I would never, the entire building was filled with people who loved him and that he loved back. And he just showed his love so beautifully and had the most love in his heart. And, that's the thing that I miss the most. and at the same time, it's the thing that's the easiest to carry forward with me. I always feel his love, and like I've mentioned, that love has made me into the person that I am. Love has given me the confidence that I have, has allowed me to get to where I am in life. And no matter how much pain I've experienced this past year without him, and how much pain I'll have to endure for the rest of my life having to live without him, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because most people don't get the kind of love that we had. Most people don't get to feel as loved as that. Most people don't get to feel that much love in their heart like I had for Cory, and still have. And it's just so special and unique, and I'm lucky to have had that for 7 years and be able to carry that with me for the rest of my life. So there's a lot more that I could say about Cory. He was the most handsome devil ever. He had the cutest dimples and the most beautiful smile, and being in his arms was just the best feeling in the world. He really cared to take care of me and make me his princess, as he liked to say. And he not only shared his love for me with me, but also with other people who knew him. And I feel so blessed that other people have gotten glimpses into our love. And I could ramble on forever, but I guess I'll kind of leave it at there's so much more I could say, and much more I will say as I continue to share myself and my journey in this channel. But for now, I just want to say, if you ever want to share stories of Cory, if you ever want to hear about him, if you ever want to know more about our story and my story, please reach out. I love talking about it. I love learning more about him and his relationships with other people. If you have pictures and videos, I cherish those things so much. And, I of course will always remember, love, and carry Cory with me throughout my whole life. And I know there are so many people out there who will as well. So if you're one of those people, please stay connected to me, because it's a beautiful way for us to stay connected with him as well. And I love connecting with other people, so my messages on any forum are always open, and I'm really happy to chat and connect. But yeah, I hope that a lot of you were nodding along throughout this video, remembering these amazing, beautiful things about this incredible man. And until next time, let's just celebrate his life and his memory.